Hey everyone, welcome to today's Cornerstone Connection. My name is Nate Carter. A friend of mine shared a really special story just recently. He was talking about how probably about 25 years ago he was overseas at an impoverished country on a missions trip, and he remembered seeing the poverty there and yet the joy that people had in their poverty. And he just so desired someday for him to be able to take his children to that same experience and to see that same kind of situation. And he actually, at the time, didn't even have children yet. I don't think he was even married yet. He told me that just this week now, his kids are going to be heading down to that very same city and seeing the same exact experience that he was able to witness 25 years ago. But yet, it's been 25 years, and he's been waiting and wondering if that would ever come to pass. And I think it's such a beautiful thing to be reminded that God can be at work even on those things that He's implanted on our hearts many years ago, and He's promised to us and helped us to look forward to, but we have to wait for. And that just reminded me, I was reminded of that story by our passage here today in Genesis 18. And it starts with verse 1. The Lord appeared again to Abraham near the oak grove belonging to Mamre. One day, Abraham was sitting at the entrance to his tent during the hottest part of the day. He looked up and noticed three men standing nearby. When he saw them, he ran to meet them and welcomed them, bowing low to the ground. "My Lord," he said, "if it pleases you, stop here for a while." And I just kind of imagine what's going on in Abraham's mind. I wonder how many times did he and Sarah sit around the dinner table, just the two of them, talking about God's promise to make him the father of many nations, to bless the whole world through his descendants. And I wonder how they must have talked excitedly for probably years about that. And over time, I wonder how that conversation shifted, or how the tone shifted. Did it move from excitement to confusion? Did it move from confusion to bitterness? That over many years, this promise has still not come to pass. And so Abraham in this moment perhaps is realizing it's happening. And he runs out to them and says, "Please don't go, stay here, let me serve you. And I want to hear the message that you have to share with me." And then they bring it in verse 9. "Where is Sarah, your wife?" the visitors asked. "She's inside the tent," Abraham replied. Then one of them said, "I will return to you about this time next year, and your wife Sarah will have a son." Sarah was listening to this conversation from the tent. Abraham and Sarah were both very old by this time, and Sarah was long past the age of having children. So she laughed silently to herself, said, "How could a worn-out woman like me enjoy such pleasure, especially when my master, my husband, is also so old?" Now, this response from Sarah is certainly understandable. It's very human. It's a laugh. And I love that even though she kind of scoffs at God, saying, "You're too late. It's past the opportunity for us to have children." Even though she kind of mocks God for that, yet God shows His grace in this situation, and still brings about the promise to Sarah. He doesn't punish her for doing that. He still brings about the child. But this human response, I think we can relate to. And I want to ask you, what things has God put on your heart? Are there specific moments in time where you felt a nudge from the Lord, or a promise, or a sense of hope about a certain issue, or a vision for the future? And has that come to pass yet? And if it hasn't, perhaps it's been years, perhaps it's been decades. Where's your heart? Have you given up on God's promise, or do you still believe that He can come through with whatever it is He's put on your heart? If God could do it with a couple worn out old people like Abraham and Sarah, how much more could He still have more to do through your life as well? So don't give up on God. Don't laugh at God, but trust that He is still able to do immeasurably more than we could ask or even imagine. Be encouraged with that today. We'll see you next time at the Cornerstone Connection.